Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are on the road. It's another edition of Living World of Darkness, New York by night, the Camarilla venue. Today we find ourselves deep inside the dark wet bunker. In this bunker, there are kindred holding out the last remaining offensive against the Sabbat, while the Sabbat takes over the city and kills everything that it knows and hates. Deep in these bunkers, there lives a newcomer by the name of Roach. Roach is Nosferatu who has recently came into the city to do what he does best. But we research to make sure that he can assist as a good member. Also in this bunker, being here for a while, training is Lucius. Lucius is making a list and has recently scratched away the, of, not scratched away, I would say cleaned out the bunker in the special area of the code room where Samson used to reside. Samson has not been seen after a scouting mission and is dead. As he goes through his things, he reminds himself that he does need new members. And he decides to meet one of the newest. And he goes to the place where Roach resides.
Well, what Roach is doing in this particular area, and it's fairly easy to see, he is tending to these rather large, varying sizes, of course, but mostly large-looking aquariums. They're full of bugs, mostly roaches of the various genus or species, if you will. But he's giving them, scraps of food, and he's kind of doting on them, and he's perfectly content in that regard.
Lucius comes to you all dressed in what seems to be either a casual outfit, just a simple shirt and jeans. You can see that he has been training since his muscles are a little bit bulged up. And he has a small cut on his hand. Probably. And then he walks over to Roach and says, "Good evening. Welcome to the bunker."
Hearing the voice behind him, he'll jump rather quickly with a start. Oh, you shouldn't scare a guy like that. You might kill him. uh, he the kind of red, almost tumor-like eyes. They almost look like compound eyes of an insect. They kind of throb a bit as his realize the ones underneath look at him.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll composure.
Okay.
See if I can look at you without at least cringing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I seem to be holding myself rather well, actually. As you turn around and look at me with your bulging, festering, insect-like eyes, Lucius looks at you like he has seen worse in this world. Probably the face of Theodore. And he, without blinking or anything, says, "Well, I didn't mean to startle you, but then again, it's good of you to always be aware of your surroundings."
Yes, very true. Lucius can definitely see that that this weird bug-like Nosferatu is. He's kind of uh, looking at him very much as if he is kind of observing. He's very much observing him and uh, almost kind of recording something in his mind, if you will, of rather a rather studious effort, if that. Are you are you a vampire? I have to say, I see no. And he again just kind of looking at you. He actually kind of puts his hand out, and as his hand moves, you kind of hear kind of like a sound, like kind of like how like a if a bug could if you could hear a bug moving and kind of skittering, it kind of sounds like that.
Uh-huh.
And he just kind of looks like he wants to like touch your arm, and he just I see no physical abnormalities of any kind. Quite amazing. I met another one who looked somewhat like me, but no, definitely not like me. Very interesting. I wonder
Lucius
if it's
listens to the babbling of the scientists, and when you want to touch me, Lucius will deflect, not very violently, but the moment he reflects, deflects. You can definitely feel that his hands are extremely cold and these are icy to the touch. And as soon as you approach him, there seems to be a cold wind residing from his body.
uh, as as Roach touches him briefly, he pulls his hand back. Maybe the bug-like appendage is more sensitive to the cold than once it had been. My word, never knew there could be such a draft down here. As usually never happens. It's usually fairly warm. That's probably why I like it so much. They seem to. He kind of points to his bugs, and they seem to like it very much too.
Then I'll keep this meeting as possible. I came here to introduce myself. My name is Lucius.
Ah, yes, you're. Well, frankly, sir, if you'll pardon my words, you sound like a badass, from what I've heard, of course. Though never seeing you before, I guess it would make sense. Perceptions and what have you. But uh, I will say it is indeed an honor to meet you.
Yes, I came here to see what new kindred the city attracted. I've heard you have quite a collection of insects at your disposal.
He nods at this. Yes, very very much, very 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 much. And he kind of scuttles almost as he comes over to a rather large aquarium, and he kind of sticks his hand straight down in there, and he pulls out. They look like Madagascar. They look like Madagascar roaches. They're a little bit bigger, maybe because he feeds them feeds them rather well. But he kind of holds them out, and they're about a little bit smaller. They're about maybe about the size lengthwise of your finger, and they're just kind of crawling around on his hand. It's like, yes, it's magnificent creatures, aren't they? It's amazing. It is amazing what humans take for granted when it comes to insects.
Well, I came here because recently I lost one of my scouts. I was
Really?
wondering,
Oh, that sounds unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
well, it is war as well, and we did lose a few members. I tried to keep it, of course, to a bare minimum. But then again, the war is a very fickle thing.
Well, that is. I've never been in war, sir, so you'll have to forgive my my tone with it. But Isn't that what war is? It's about losing and sacrificing? I mean, are there truly winners in a war? I mean, victors, perhaps, yes, but I mean, at the cost of what the war puts on people and those who don't participate in it. I mean, they're not winners. It's a very strange, convoluted mess that is made with conflict.
Conflict is what resolves things. Without simple conflict, we have nothing. We have status quo. Nothing gets decided. Nothing gets made. Nothing gets done. So yes, we must go out and do war, do conflict. For if we do nothing, we simply sit and pause.
Well, that is also very, very true. Uh,
Speaking of not
idle hands are the devil's work, and you can see him kind of he's like petting these rather large roaches.
speaking of not sitting about, I heard you still have to connect yourself to one of the two projects. Is this correct?
Oh, you mean as into uh, he kind of scratches under his chin a little bit. He's having trouble finding the words. You mean as a friend or something? Well, I take care of them.
As a member, Mr. Roach, as a member, by the plea of our warlord in this city, every single emerald member must attach himself to one of the coteries or raise one himself. This to make sure that our connection is true and that we keep in contact with each other at all times.
Oh, I
I
see.
am looking to expand and I'm looking for a scout. And I was hoping you, Mr. Roach, and your menagerie of insects might help me into getting more eyes in the city and make sure that my scouts don't get murdered off again.
He listens to your words as he actually takes one of the bugs and he actually puts it to what you can assume is an ear, and he just kind of goes, oh, oh, oh quite quite fine. Oh. He then puts the roaches back into the aquarium. Well, they seem more than willing to participate, as long as they get their food. They He kind of chuckles a bit. They're not exactly, they're not intellectual, but they understand instinct. They understand if they do things, they get food, and frankly, that's good enough for them. And he kind of smiles a bit at that, as if as if it's a marveling of their cognitive response.
Mr. Roach, before you fully accept, I want you to understand our creed as a culture. We are, I consider, somewhat rare. With us, and I mean the units, we go strictly connect with each other. Every large political opinion we have, we try to decide as a group. Everyone has a vote. I lead it, but I am not its master. Everyone gets a vote, but I also expect everyone to put in the effort that complements the others. I don't want people sitting around doing nothing but others to take the weight. I want you to understand that if one suffers, we all suffer. That includes myself. Pain,
He
as I see it, is only a lesson if shared. No, I'm not the man for punishment, but I do want you to understand that when you join me, I expect you to bleed. I expect you to fight. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pick up a dagger and run into a fight you cannot win. But when the unit goes to battle, I expect you to join. That does not mean you have to sit at the front line. It means you might be able better to sit into a car or be into a building where you connect with your insects and send them about to give me information, the information I need to fight this war. However, I expect you to be defeated. That means that we'll have to find a way to keep your security up, since your reputation as stricken the deep low into what we call trusts, masquerade, or hope. Everyone can make a mistake. When you make
He
a mistake,
he very much he nods at this. Very, very, very true. I understand. I understand what it is that you are speaking of. If ever so slightly, of course. But I will certainly do what I can if it is to uh, benefit this world that I seem to have uh, that I've been brought into.
wonderful.
So
I will have to ask for your permission as a member to the other members. And this is tradition so far. But I want to say I have high hopes for your willingness to participate as well. And he smiles.
he, you can only assume that he is smiling. Uh, you will notice that his fangs look very permanent, but the way that they're shaped, they're very much in the Nosferatu fashion, rather misshapen looking. They look more like an insect's mandibles and such, rather than traditional fangs. Well, of course, certainly, Mr. Lucius, I will do what I can. That is all that we can do in this world, is it? Is it not?
We must do as much as we can. For this is our duty as members of the company. Mr. Roach, when something fails, then I fail. When a member of the unit fails, the entire unit fails. So make sure that when you put your utmost foot forward, or in your case, appendage, make sure that it's done with great care.
He he nods and he kind of chuckles a little bit at your wording, the appendage and such. But he obviously he understands what it is that you're saying. Very very well. I will. I am happy to be of service, and I'm sure that my little friends here are more than willing to play their part and such.
I suggest you go make a connection with my other scout in the unit. She is called Kate. Kate has been in the field, has fought and bled with us. She knows what I desire when it comes to scouting. Maybe she can even teach you a few things, and vice versa.
He nods. Very well. I will greatly. I will certainly do so. Uh, is she like you? More? How should I put it? More human looking, or is she like me? A little unusual.
She is not like me, but she is also not like me. I think you will have to meet her and listen to her to understand. She's
Uh,
young.
he nods. He nods. Very well. Certainly, that certainly sounds good in my book. So I will certainly do just that. He kind of bows his head a little bit, not not a lot though, as if he's saying thank you for your time. I guess is how I would present it as.
Yeah, Lucius understands this slight relief, and he taps up a cigarette box from his jacket, and he nods at you and then turns around and he holds for a slight moment to light his cigarette, only to move out of your area of expertise.
And he will watch Lucius leave, and he returns to his small little aquariums and says, "Well, you see that, everyone, we're going to participate in a war. Oh, goody. Well, at the very least, we won't have to do much fighting. And frankly, I think that'd be much better off." He just kind of picks up a few more of the bugs, and he just kind of uh, lets them kind of rush through his hands, and says, "Well, I guess sooner rather than later we should start training."
And with that, I have personally nothing to add, and we can stop the scene. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating.